Number 10. The Isle of Wight Steam Railway. Running for 5.5 miles through beautiful scenery between Wootton and Smallbrook Junction, the main headquarters of the line is at Haven Street, home to the majority of the line's collection of museum artefacts and rolling stock, and is restored to 1940s condition. The line's steam rolling stock includes Southern Terrier classes, Hunter's Austerity saddle tanks, Iver Class 2 tanks, and many more. At Smallbrook Junction, the railway has a connection to the main Island Line. There are a number of fantastic places to stay on the island, and other attractions include the zoo, glorious beaches, and rides aboard the island's unique hovercraft service, among many other things to see and do. For more information, check out their beautifully designed website at iwsteamrailway.co.uk. Number 9. The Bowness and Kinneil Railway. This wonderfully preserved railway in Scotland is one that's well worth a trip north of the border. This line runs for just over 5 miles between its main headquarters at Bowness and to a small halt at Manuel Junction, where the line has a physical connection to the Glasgow to Edinburgh main line via Falkirk. Operated by the Scottish Railway Preservation Society, Bowness in particular is a real hive of activity, which includes the main hub of the Museum of Scottish Railways, a unique attraction in its own right away from the main running line. There's also an extensive shed area featuring more stock to view and an O-gauge model railway in operation. From Kinneil Holt Station, you can visit the Nature Reserve and Kinneil House. There's another charming stop at Birkhill Station, and at the end of the line at Manuel Junction, you can watch the passing mainline trains on the Glasgow to Edinburgh line while your own train gets ready for its return leg. The line is close to the town of Falkirk, and other spots that come highly recommended include visits to the Falkirk Wheel and the Kelpies sculptures. Glasgow and Edinburgh are also fairly close by and of course have a number of things to see and do in their own right. For more information about the Bowness line, visit bkrailway.co.uk. Number 8. The Bluebell Railway. The original heritage railway and still one of the best. The legendary Bluebell Railway covers a picturesque 11-mile journey between Sheffield Park and East Grinstead. The Bluebell Railway Preservation Society ran its very first train in 1960 during a time where BR were of course still running steam trains on the main line, and only 3 years after this particular stretch of line had initially been closed. Famous for its trademark bluebells which can be seen along the line, it boasts the largest collection of locomotives outside of the National Railway Museum in York. The fleet includes large operational and static collections. Its most famous resident has to be the London Brighton South Coast Railway Terrier number 55, aka Stepney, famously featured in the Thomas the Tank Engine books and TV series. There are a number of convenient ways to reach the line, including via Network Rail thanks to the connection at East Grinstead. Most of the line runs through West Sussex, which has a number of other great things to see and do away from the railway. A good place to get some inspiration on this front is the experiencewestsussex.com site, but the Bluebell line remains the jewel in the West Sussex crown. Head to bluebell-railway.com for more information. Number 7. The West Somerset Railway. The West Somerset Railway is the longest standard gauge preserved line in the UK, covering over 22 miles of sensational Somerset scenery. The line runs mainly from Bishop's Lydeard to Minehead. There's also a station just a little further south from Bishop's Lydeard called Norton Fitzwarren. South of that station is Taunton on the GWR main line. In the past, occasional shuttle services have run from Taunton along to the West Somerset branch via Norton Fitzwarren. The picturesque Quantock Hills can be found around Bishop's Lydeard, and there are a number of additional items to explore across most of the stations along the route, including the likes of Dunster Castle and the seaside at Minehead. And there's also a what to see and do section on the site, which is a very useful guide for additional attractions to spot along the route. Number 6. The Great Central Railway. The preserved Great Central Railway is one of the most unique heritage lines in the UK. Running for just over 8 miles from Loughborough to Leicester North, the line has a long and proud history and boasts a number of completely unique features compared to other lines. It is the only double-track main-line heritage railway in the world. Just over 5 miles of the route has this double track, allowing for the incredible sight of trains passing each other in motion. Another unique feature of this heritage line is that it even has its own branch line, the only preserved railway in the UK to have such a link, which comes in the form of the Mount Sorrel branch, a great little family attraction in its own right. The county of Leicestershire has plenty to offer, including the award-winning National Space Centre in the city of Leicester, which this channel highly recommends for a visit. Back to the GCR, each of the stations are based around different time periods, from BR days to wartime. The NAFI team room at Quorn and Woodhouse also comes highly recommended. You can find out more information about the line at gcrailway.co.uk. For even more information about the railway, click the link above to arm yourself with 101 facts you need to know about the Great Central Railway. Number 5. The Fustiniog Railway. The oldest surviving railway company in the world, the Fustiniog Railway is a major tourist attraction in mid-Wales, mainly located within the Snowdonia National Park. This charming narrow gauge line runs for just over 13 miles between the harbour town of Porthmadog and the slate mining town of Blaen y Fustiniog. The trains climb over 700 feet above sea level into the mountains through stunning lakes, forests and waterfalls. Snowdonia itself is an incredible place to explore, and the Fustiniog line isn't the only place where you can get your train fix. The railway has a link to another preserved narrow gauge line in the Welsh Highland Railway at Porthmadog, and there's also the famous Snowdon Mountain Railway that travels up to the summit. All of them are worth a visit, but the Fustiniog line in particular comes highly recommended. For more information and to start planning your trip to Wales this summer, visit festrail.co.uk. Number 4. The Dartmouth Steam Railway. The Dartmouth Steam Railway runs for just under 7 miles along the former Great Western Railway branch line between Paignton and Kingsware in the beautiful county of Devon. Originally opened in 1859 as a broad gauge line, before being converted to standard gauge in 1892, it was closed by BR in 1972, becoming a fully fledged heritage route in the same year. The line is owned and operated by Dart Valley Railway plc. This company owns a few other services within its portfolio, including the Dart Pleasurecraft Limited brand, which operates the unique Dartmouth passenger ferry along with other river and Devon coastal cruises. The railway's timetable runs in conjunction with boat and bus services, which are all promoted as part of the Dartmouth Steam Railway and Riverboat Company. Devon's coastline is incredible to explore in its own right, so in addition to the railway journey, it's definitely worth taking in as much of this as you can, along with its scenic countryside, canals, castles and more. For more information, head to dartmouthrailriver.co.uk, where you can not only find out information about the railway, but also the boat services. Number 3. The Severn Valley Railway. The Severn Valley Railway is one of the premier heritage lines in the UK. One of the longest in preservation, it covers a 16-mile stretch across the counties of Worcestershire and Shropshire and runs from Kidderminster to Bridgnorth. A hugely popular attraction in this part of the world, the line usually welcomes 250,000 visitors each year. Now celebrating over 50 years as a heritage operation, the original line was opened as far back as 1862. Falling foul of the mass closure of lines across the country, heritage operations began in 1970 and the line has gone on to establish itself as one of the finest preserved railways in England. It boasts a mainline connection at Kidderminster, a fine place to spot both steam and modern day workings alongside the Birmingham to Worcester line. This link also allows for special rail tour workings to visit the SVR from the national network. With the clue being in the name, the line runs along the flowing River Severn for most of the route. Other great spots to visit along the route include the Severn Valley Country Park and the stunning Wyre Forest. The SVR is well renowned for its epic steam and diesel galas. svr.co.uk is the place for you to go to get the latest information about those events. Number 2. The North Yorkshire Moors Railway. This hugely popular line is by far one of the most well-known and well-travelled in the UK. Running from Pickering to Gromont with occasional services travelling further along the national network to Whitby, the NYMR is steeped in history. Originally opened as early as 1836 and planned by legendary railway figure George Stephenson, it was built as a means to open up trade routes from towns such as Whitby. Today, in the preservation era, it's the busiest steam railway in the world, carrying hundreds of thousands of passengers each year. It's been featured a number of times in films and television shows. To that end, its most popular station is Goathland, about halfway along the route. The station of course featured as Hogsmeade in the Harry Potter films, and also as part of Aidensfield in the popular TV show Heartbeat. Sticking with the Heartbeat theme, a number of 60s inspired landmarks can be found nearby a little further up from the station, and in normal times you can even pop in for a pint at the Aidensfield Arms. While the trains are by far the biggest attraction, the North Yorkshire Moors themselves are absolutely incredible in terms of their scenery. The North York Moors National Park website is a great place to start to discover more about the landmarks away from the railway. In addition, the coastal towns of Whitby and Scarborough are always worth a visit in their own right. For more information, head over to nymr.co.uk. Number 1. The North Norfolk Railway. Full disclosure, this is an incredibly biased entry, but few would begrudge this wonderful railway from grabbing the top spot. Whilst not the oldest, busiest or even longest of heritage lines, this charming railway boasts unique character and some of the finest views around of one of the most underrated counties and tourist destinations in the UK. Running from the quaint and proud seaside town of Sheringham on the North Norfolk coast, the line rolls along the coastline past both the sea and countryside and past pretty poppy fields, giving the railway the nickname of the Poppy Line. Travelling to the bustling engine and carriage work headquarters at Weyburn, the line proceeds further up towards Holt, tackling steep gradients along the way, giving the steam trains a good workout in the process. The route forms part of the Old Midland and Great Northern Joint Railway system. It's part of the only surviving stretch of this route following the mass closure of the original network in 1959. Today, a connection at Sheringham sees the line reattached to the national network, allowing for visiting rail tours. In recent years, the railway has also run special dining excursions further up the national network to Cromer, the last remaining part of the old M&GN still in modern use. The county of Norfolk has a number of great destinations to visit away from the railway, with grand beaches and other great attractions scattered around the county. Other railway points of interest include the Bressingham Steam Museum near Thetford, the Bure Valley Railway near the Norfolk Broads, worth a visit in their own right, in Wroxham, the Wells and Walsingham Light Railway, and another small piece of M&GN territory in the Whitwell and Reepham Steam Railway. For more information about one of this channel's favourite lines, visit nnrailway.co.uk. I hope you enjoyed this video featuring 10 heritage railways you should visit this year. If you found it interesting, then please hit us with a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe for more weekly rail-based content just like this. Take care and see you soon. Bye for now.